Last year, I made over $39,000 on Etsy as a solopreneur, hand making every single one of my items from my basement, and it changed my life. And I want to talk to you about what changed in my business to make that happen. So I started sewing as a business back in like 2019, really small time. At the start of 2024, I decided we either have to get serious about it or it was time to let it go. I was pregnant with my second baby. I work a full-time job. I still work a full-time job on top of the side business, and it was time. We either make a change or let it go. So I started doing some research and started figuring out what I had to change in my business to make it grow. And these are the three things that I firmly believe made the biggest difference in my business, selling over $39,000. I still get like a little emotional when I say that. $39,000 on Etsy. Crazy as a side business. So let me talk to you about what I changed and what I think you should implement if you're trying to do this too. So I wrote some notes down to help guide me through this because I'm a bit of a rambler. So bear with me if I'm looking down, checking my notes here. The first thing that I wrote down is a mindset shift. This I think was massive. I was so focused on what I thought the business should look like, what I was seeing other people doing, what I was told running a small business looks like, that I was not focusing on what was actually working for me and ignoring what didn't work. What doesn't work for me is really social media. I'm not great at it. I don't like it. I don't really use it a lot personally. I don't enjoy creating content for it all that much. But I put so much time into trying it because everyone told me if you're going to run a business, you got to have the social media. No, you don't. I post very, very rarely on my social media, and the content I do post is not great. But I didn't need it to sell that. What I needed was to focus on what was working. And what was working was good SEO, was taking time to find products and niches that really, really I could thrive in. When I switched to book sleeves almost 2 years ago now, that was when I started to see the change happen, and this year I really honed in on them. I have found fabrics and product lines that really work for me and my clients and the people I sew for. And that is where I needed to spend more of my time and focus more. So that mindset shift of leaning into what works. What works for me is spending more time researching SEO and improving my SEO. That gave me a much better output than focusing on trying to create a pretty Instagram. An aesthetic Instagram did me way dirtier than an aesthetic Instagram shop. Or not Instagram shop, Etsy shop. The other thing that I think really, really helped was spending time in my Etsy shop and making it a priority. So there are things I do in there now that are part of the routine that really, I think, help make my shop look professional, that help people trust me when they come to the shop. Obviously, having a lot of sales and a lot of great reviews is important. But on top of that, I change the banner in my shop at least monthly, if not more, to reflect what's going on. Product releases, holidays, even just changing colors. I keep that fresh. I update my shop announcement at least once a week, again, if not more. I really think that when people come and they see that you're in your shop, that your shop announcement is updated, if they come back and they notice that the banner's changed, that they see you're putting the effort in, that helps them trust you as a small business. Etsy's full of scammers. And once people find good shops, they come back. My repeat customers are amazing. I have one lady, bless her, she's amazing. And she's become a good friend, but she's ordered over 20 times from me. And one of the things she says is that she trusts that I'm a person and that if something goes wrong, I'll be there to help her. Luckily, nothing ever has, but I think that's important. So changing my banner, the announcement, and then I respond to reviews and let people know that I see their reviews. My go-to response is, thank you for leaving a review. Enjoy your new whatever it is. If it's, you know, a pretty basic 5-star review or whatever like that. If there's a concern that they note in their review, I address it. But again, I think when someone comes to your shop and they're looking at your reviews, if they can see that you have taken the time to read the reviews and respond to it, that says a lot. So yeah, like I said, I have 3 or 4 like canned standard responses. Thank you for the review. Thank you for supporting my shop, etc., etc. But every review gets some sort of acknowledgement. This also has the added bonus of once you respond to a review, it locks it in. So if they review 5 stars, you can lock that in and they can't go change it if they want to. In the past, I have had people do that. I had one lady once, she gave me a 5-star review. It was amazing. Yada yada, I lock in her review with a response. Then a couple weeks later, she sends me a message asking for a coupon to buy a new one. Not something I offer. And then she sends me a message that she tried to update her review about my poor customer service because I wouldn't offer her a coupon and couldn't because I responded to the review. So definitely worth it there. The next one is being very careful about where my supplies are coming from and lowering my product costs, the cost it takes me to make a product. I wholesale pretty much all of my supplies now. That is a huge investment up front, and I know it's not easy for everyone, but if you are able to, wow, does that make a difference. I buy fabrics by the bolt. I work with 3 different fabric wholesalers now to do that. I wholesale my interfacing, I wholesale my buttons, everything. I buy in massive quantities because it lowers that per price down, and that helps me have more options. So if I had to buy every single yard here by the yard, you're looking at $15 a yard. When I buy at wholesale, I'm looking at $3 to $4. That means I can offer so many more prints and have much better variety and much better profit margins by wholesaling. And then the next thing is being very, very knowledgeable and on top of my numbers, what I'm selling, my inventory, and my profit. I read this book last year. If you're a small business owner, highly, highly recommend this book. I don't follow it to a T. I probably follow like 85-ish% of it. But really the concept of it is know your numbers and make sure that you are paying yourself. For the first like 3 years of my business, I didn't pay myself. I didn't know how to pay myself. I was putting in so much time and so much effort and buying all these supplies, and I didn't know when I actually started getting paid. All of the money went back into this, went back on these bookshelves. Now, by wholesaling, I've been able to reduce the amount of money that needs to go back to it, but I've also learned through reading this that that's not how a big business works, and that's not how I should be focusing and planning my small business. So now, for every dollar that comes in, 50 cents of it goes immediately into my pocket. And that has been a game changer. That means I've been able to use the profits of my business to actually pay myself for my time. It's no longer a hobby, it is now income for me. And that I think is truly what allowed me to grow even more, is because now I'm reaping the benefits of it. I'm not just sewing for fun, though I love sewing. I'm not running the business for fun, though it is fun most of the time. Now it's benefiting me. Now that money is actually in my bank account and I'm using it to support my family. And wow, does that make me more motivated to get in there and actually spend more time with the business and make more profits. So again, profit first. That guy, Mike. You don't have to read everything for it. It's definitely, I think, meant for like bigger businesses, not solopreneurs, but the concept is there. But really, really knowing my numbers and becoming comfortable with it, I think made a world of difference. So yeah, I am so grateful for such an amazing year on Etsy. Selling almost $40,000 worth of product on Etsy with doing very little outside of it, very little advertising, very little social media is amazing. And it's something that I truly think anyone can do if you're willing to put the time and the effort in. I am by no means an Etsy guru. There are plenty of those on the internet, but I am happy to answer questions on my journey and my story, and how I grew my little business. Again, I'm a business of one, sitting here in my basement with my sewing machine, and have been able to accomplish something that I think is pretty great. So have a great day.